Okay, good post-Easter morning, or it is Easter time, I suppose. My name is Christina Dillabo, and this is Tuesday Talks. I'm super excited to talk about Easter, find out what's been going on with our churches. What did you all do special or different this Easter than you did other Easters? What was your attendance like? Because, we're getting a little further and further away from pandemic, and people are starting to feel more comfortable with getting together. Not everybody, and that's totally understandable. But I just can't wait to hear what did you all do. And I didn't prep you. I'm sorry. I should have included that in the email saying, hey, I'm going to ask you about this. So get some information. So if you know, please share. If you don't know, that's okay. I've got something to share too. Who wants to go first?
I'll go ahead and volunteer if you don't
Thanks,
mind.
Ken. Yes.
Here in Prescott, we finally had some good weather for the Easter weekend, which unto itself is a wonderful blessing. Our attendance for from Monday, Thursday through our Sunday programs was over 650 people, which we're very pleased with. We did have a sunrise service, which was attended by let's see, what did we have down there? 83 people for the sunrise service at our amphitheater across the street at the Charlotte Hall Museum, which was a very nice service. Our Good Friday service, we had the 7 Last Words presentation by, I think it's Rainey. It was the composer for it. It was a musical concert with our church choir as well as our church orchestra. A lot of ringers, I got to admit, but we had a very nice musical interlude, and we had more than 250 people attend just for the Good Friday service. So we're rather happy with the number of people that have attended. So we had a total of 651. It was a lot of activity, and as I had mentioned at the top, the pastors, we had our staff meeting this morning because they took yesterday off, and they're going, we're still tired. So
that makes sense.
My little report from Prescott.
Hey, and I remember that your church did something. I hate to backtrack this much, but I'd love to go ahead and share, since I want to hear what unique things happened, that your church did a really cool hologram presentation for Christmas, wasn't it?
Yes, the Christmas cantata. It's on our website. So if you go to prescottumc.org and you look for cantata program, it's still posted on our website. Yes, it was a immersive visual projection mapping presentation of a Christmas cantata. I don't remember all of the details of who did what, but it lasted for an hour, and it was very well attended. I think we had well over 400 people over 2 showings for that. So it was a very well-received presentation. Live music going. And I know that the challenge that we had with our AV staff and the music staff was to try and match the two, because you had a specific kind of a visual projection trying to get done at the same time you're doing a downbeat. And, it's, if anything can go wrong, it can go wrong at that point in time. But they did an outstanding job. So it was a very well received. That was for Christmas. And so we had a lot of folks that were here for Easter expecting, okay, what are you going to do next? And so for Good Friday, the orchestra and the choir, they also had some background visual projections. It just wasn't quite as involved in terms of the image mapping, but it was still a very beautiful presentation.
Awesome. Thank you. So you heard it. If you want to know something about what's this visual projection stuff?
Projection mapping. It's where
projection mapping. Thank you.
Yeah, it's imagine trying to take a picture and you want to project it onto a screen, but your screen is your entire sanctuary, and all of the walls, and some of it's close, some of it's far away. And so you literally are projecting with a special kind of a camera, which has a digital capability within the lens to be able to project it to where everything is in focus, despite all of the curves and up and down and left and right and all that type of thing. And so it was actually quite impressive. It was also I think it cost $3,000 for just the projector for the to stay or to use it. And fortunately, we had somebody on the team that knew something about how to do it, but they spent a week just doing the projection mapping, not counting the rehearsal for the music or the orchestra or anything like that, but just the visual. But it was worth it. So take a look at the video that we recorded of one of the presentations. It's on our website, prescottumc.org, and look for Cantata.
Let's see. So if I go to your website and
just scroll down on the home page.
Oh, on the home page.
Yeah, on the home page.
Oh.
You're on the home page, I think. No,
I'm on the worship page.
No, go to the home page.
Okay.
And just scroll down. Keep going a little further. There you go. View. Stop. Go back up. Right there. View the cantata over there on the left.
There we go. Thanks. Let's see. We won't watch. I can't play. Stop. I don't want to play the audio because then I'll get in trouble for streaming issues, licensing. I'm looking for.
Yeah, we had the bells, and you just go into it about halfway, and you'll see a bunch of the projection mapping in the background.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay. Let's see. You can't hear the audio, right?
No.
Okay, good. Wow.
But you can see the projection mapping is literally a PowerPoint going around. And of course, you're trying not to blind all of the choir with.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why the mapping is there. You're trying to project it strictly behind and over their heads.
Oh.
It's hard to see, but you've got stars sprinkling there. There is a sequence in here where the blossoms are exploding. Literally, there's a flower explosion.
Let's see. Wow.
So you can see it mapping there, but it's an hour-long presentation, including the handbells, but it's well worth it.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Okay.
And I know that we had planned to do something like that for Easter as well, but there was just not enough time, and it does require an awful lot of time into that particular presentation.
Oh, wow. That's fabulous. Thank you.
Yes.
Appreciate that. Who else wants to share about their Easter? Anything unique happen? What was your numbers like, Jim?
I can't say I wasn't there. I had a plumbing disaster at home, so I was otherwise occupied. We had a real nice thing happen to us, and I meant to send you that video, Christina. Arizona family showed up and gave one of our, there's a video of this, of our two people that run our food ministries, a $500 award for helping others. And of course, they want to plow that right back into the food ministries, but I'll send you that video.
Nice. Thank you. How about you, Bob?
Yeah, I'll back up to Good Friday, and we had a service at 2:00 in the afternoon because the Wilcox Church was having a service at 7, so we had to give and we share their organist, so it's really pretty awesome. But anyhow, we did a Tenebrae service of darkness. Started out with 14 candles on a table, and then as people were led by the Spirit, they just did one of the readings and came up and extinguished one of the candles. And then towards the end, I was back in the corner behind the organ, and I had a 4x4 post and a 3-pound sledgehammer. And at the end of the one hymn that we rang, or that we sang, I should say, I did 6 hammers for the nailing Christ to the cross, and nobody knew that was coming. So it was it caught people. It was pretty startling for a number of folks. Easter Sunday was this was the first time in 39 years of ministry that I did not preach on Easter Sunday. I have 2 lay people at the church that we rotate on a weekly basis. I typically do lead the first week, including communion, and then the fourth week, and the 2 lay people fill in the middle 2 weeks. And so consequently, that being the second week in April was Easter, one of my lay persons was technically scheduled to do the service. And I said, I'm not going to take that away from him just because I'm the pastor. And so Barth, Barth Morin, was our lay speaker for that day, and he led the worship service, and it was awesome. So I was there running the video and trying to keep the various cameras. We have a laptop and a tablet that we're using to do our Zoom projections with, and it was different, but it was good. We had about 16 people in worship, and that's a good Sunday for us, being a very small mission church in the far southeast corner of the state. So
Okay.
it was good.
Thank you, Bob. Anybody else? Oh yeah, Betty had from Willowbrook. She said in the chat, she doesn't have a microphone on her computer, so she puts it in the chat. She said Willowbrook had a Maundy, Thursday service, the Passion of Christ, 59 attended. That's pretty good. We had a Good Friday service with prayer stations of the 7 last words of Christ. No numbers yet. Easter worship began with the men. Oh, what you had said, Easter worship, men hiding and women heading to the tomb is the flow of the sermon. Did I do that right? And let's see, what was that? Hiding women heading to the tomb. Total was 387 attended for Easter worship. Oh, praise be. And anybody else? Well, I'll share. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
We had a family event on Wednesday night, sort of an intro to Holy Week. It was Holy Week in a box for families. It was just a sort of an open house. So we had a bunch of kids come in, a bunch of families. So that was really nice. That was a great way to start off. And then had a Monday, Thursday service in Tempe, and then Good Friday in Tempe, we did the Faure Requiem. And then in Arcadia, we had a movie in the park. We showed Jesus Christ Superstar, and that was well attended. That was really nice. And the Requiem was too. So we were really happy with our numbers there. And then Easter Sunday, we had brass, we had choirs, we had just all the stuff. For Easter, we had our numbers were in person were almost what they were pre-pandemic. So that was really nice. And then we had a lot more online. So both on live stream on YouTube. So all in all, we're happy.
Fabulous. Oh, great news. Great news. Have any of you ever done, whether it's VBS or a mission project or a church event of some kind, worship maybe, as a group with other churches? So this Easter, Ann Leiter ended up, let's see, am I sharing the right one? Here we go. Ann Leiter had the idea of, why don't we do sunrise service together? She contacted First UMC of Mesa. Let's see, she's at Val de Rose, Tongan UMC, and Grace UMC. And they all agreed, yeah, let's do a sunrise service together at the park. And the bishop offered to do the sermon. So these are pictures on our Flickr account of the sunrise service. It was absolutely beautiful. I mean, it started out a little bit chilly, but, and the pictures, most of them look a little brighter than what it really was. Even this one where I tried to keep it somewhat dark. It was, I mean, obviously it was a sunrise service, so it was dark in the beginning and then it gets brighter and brighter. But man, it was such a great service. The bishop started out in black robes, and he talked about the way baptisms were done before. And I don't want to spoil it because it was a little bit shocking. And he starts to disrobe and he switches out from his black robe into a white robe. And yeah, I mean, it was a great sermon, great service, great turnout. The fabulous part about it, I think, especially a sunrise service, is, it takes the same amount of work as it does, for a big, huge event, or if only 5 or 20 people are going to show up. You still have to set up the audio. You've got to set up all this stuff. And so I thought, what a brilliant idea that they decided to collaborate together, 4 churches all together for the sunrise service. So it was a bigger turnout than it would have normally been, same amount of work, but shared by 4 churches. And then they did Easter egg hunt right after. They had breakfast. It was just a really, really nice event. And, I wish I was a better photographer to really capture the event, but we got some decent pictures. And so I'm sharing it both because of the collaborative nature of the event, in case it spurs some ideas for your church, but also, see, there we go. There's all the pastors and the bishop together. There's a lot of sun at that point. That was at the very end, and so it was the brightest moment. But anyway, so yeah, because of the collaborative nature, and also so that I'll include the link to this, what is it called? It's not a folder, it's a portrait. No, it's an album on Flickr. I'll include the link to this album because there might be some images there that you could use down the road for your news stuff. You will notice that even on Flickr, our Desert Southwest Conference photos say that they are copyright, all rights reserved. But clearly the Desert Southwest Conference is not going to sue any of our churches for using our photos. That's just to prevent the general public to go ahead and use photos and something else that wasn't sanctioned by the Desert Southwest Conference. And that's the case as well for United Methodist images from the UMC Digital Assets Bank. If you're ever looking for just a really good picture of something that looks like worship, something that looks like a mission project, something, whatever, or somebody from the United Methodist Church, you're likely going to find it in the UMC Digital Assets Bank. I think I've shared that link with you all before. Since I mentioned it, I will include it in today's follow-up notes. And then I'm going to share my screen again to go ahead and start with the other items that we have on the agenda today. So Amazon Smile, some of you might be using it, and at your church, it kind of helps give your church a little extra donation money, and it's all through your membership purchasing. Well, the United Methodist Church has something like Amazon Smile, and Amazon Smile is no longer happening. So if you have that happening, you should switch over to doing it's UMC Market powered by iGive. So it's the same type of thing. And, you can learn this particular page is all about how to start using something like this where people are doing their shopping and it ends up giving the church money, how to, like, just tidbits you could use in your newsletter, or where you might want to share information about it, and obviously how it works. So I highly recommend check this out. I'll send you this link directly. Then the other one, I think maybe it was our last Tuesday talks, we talked about the AED and who's using it, those defibrillator things. And sure enough, I found out that through Staples, because Staples is I don't know, I was going to say a ministry partner, but I don't know if that's the accurate name for it, but we do get United Methodist discounts through Staples, and AED is one of them. Your church can access discounted rates for AEDs, trainings, supplies through the #1 AED provider in the USA. It's Cardio Partners. Available options are new AEDs, pad replacements, battery replacements, online CPR and first aid training for group or individual, on-site CPR and first aid training for group and individuals, and they also have AED program management services. But as you can see, since I scrolled down, there's other stuff that you can get discounts with Staples. I've used them before for printing, bulk printing, if I needed to do like manuals. I used them one time for annual conference. I think it was back when we did the Vision project. Vision package. That's what, I can't remember. Once we through various annual conferences that we came up with a vision statement for the Desert Southwest Annual Conference. We had little green folders that had information about all of that. I think I got those printed and assembled through Staples because it was so inexpensive. So keep that in mind. I'll send you the link to that one. And then, since we're talking about what other types of resources and whatnots can you get from the United Methodist Church. So if your church is looking to create a new website and you're looking for like a United Methodist recommended company, umcchurches.org is that organization. It actually is a United Methodist organization. So they're not going to be charging you like to turn a profit. This is a ministry that is offered by the United Methodist Church for United Methodist churches. And, I love that it's even in the past, I'm sure they still have it. They would have different like little plugins or modules that are United Methodist that you could just have added to your website, like that has the news feed from the United Methodist News Service, all kinds of different bells and whistles. It's pretty cool, but it also has a lot of stuff that you would find in a regular, like non-UMC website developer. You saw, I think, about the branded emails, that's an option. And it usually starts out with free training on how to edit. And then, even David Topping, who used to work at the Desert Southwest Conference, so he's a local guy, you could even work with him to help you like build up your website to be what you want it to be, and he'll show you how he did it. And there's something specific that you want that's not already included, he can help you get that added. So keep that in mind. And then another one that doesn't always come to people's mind, I don't know why that showed up, there we go, is GCFA. It's the General Council on Finance and Administration. They have a whole slew of resources that you can take advantage of. Some of it, I'm scrolling through so you can see some of those items now, but let's see, I'm trying to get to, there we go, resources. So there's some of the local church resources. That's not what I'm looking for. No, okay, if you go to partners, services, here we go. So they've got communication marketing services, human resources, legal, tons of different stuff. Let's look at the communications and marketing. Graphic design, rebranding. They also have the website building services. I mean, it's all kinds of stuff. The ministry videos, let me look at that one. If that's the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, there we go. So they have the resource guide, but there's, if you're ever thinking about like, well, our church would like to create some messaging videos, maybe that we're going to use for, I don't know, apportionment giving, or we're going to use this every year to invite people to start to volunteer for missions or whatever, and you want to have a really good video, but you don't have the staff, maybe don't have the finances to support something like that. If you didn't know, United Methodist Communications can assist with that. And they can't always do every single project that you want because they're helping all churches and there's multiple projects that they're helping to do. But if you reach out to them, they could let you know if and when they can work with you on creating these videos. They've worked with me, and you don't have to pay anything. You do have to provide all the assets, so they're not going to go shopping around for, oh, I want this graphic. You've got to provide the graphics, you got to provide the script, but they assemble it for you and send it to you. Like they'll put together a storyboard so you can kind of get an idea of what's going to be in there. And then, yeah, they'll do the video editing and send you the video for you to download and use wherever you want. Now, for online giving, if you're looking for this, if you don't already have it, the online giving site that I recommend is Tithely, because it's really easy. You can set it up where it's totally free for your church. The way you would do that is to set it up so that the donor can also include the expense in their donation, which is just like a few extra cents. And it can be totally free for your church to accept credit card payments or donations or debit card donations or whatever. So I'll send you the link to that one. And then, and that's it for now of resources. But if there's something else that you're thinking about that I didn't go over, send me an email and I'll be sure to go over it next time and include links for that. So it's just a friendly reminder about Native American Ministries Sunday. It's this month. I'm looking to see where's my notes. There we go. April 23rd. So my notes say that they have resources to learn how and why United Methodists celebrate Native American Ministries Sunday. Invite your faith community to give generously, knowing that half of the gifts remain in the conference to support CONAM ministries, create programs and resources, and educate and support seminary scholarships for United Methodist Native Americans. Sometimes we've got our offering stuff, but we don't always know what it covers. Like sometimes I've been asked about our Desert Southwest Conference Campus Ministry Sunday. What's the difference between that and the United Methodist Student, Student Day? Special Student Day? I forgot what it's called. So it's helpful to know, you can go to this site to find out for the United Methodist Special Sundays, what exactly everything's for. And man, they've got so many resources. So just check them out, use them however you want. And my last item we already covered at the top, which was about Easter Mother's Day and VBS. It's coming up. So if you're not already thinking about it, you should be. Start finding out. I'm curious to see what churches are doing for VBS because, especially if we know when churches are doing VBS, man, wouldn't it be great to coordinate and say, hey, your VBS is happening a month before ours. What are you going to do with your leftover props and whatever? Can we have them? Can we borrow them? And maybe pass them on to the next church. Have you guys done that before? Yeah, Chris?
We've been doing that for, I don't know, the past 5 or 6 years. And it's been amazing because the church where we get everything from, sorry about my dog. The church where we get everything from is this big, super fancy church, and they go all out with their decorations. So we get them from them, and it's amazing. It's far beyond anything that we could do. And then we pass them it along. So it's definitely, if you can find somebody who's doing the same one, it's totally worth it to share.
Awesome. So maybe as we get closer to summer, if you start, like if any of you that know what you're going to do for VBS, if you could send me an email, I'll start creating a Google sheet and put in there the church, the program name, and your VBS dates. That way we can, and ideally even, well, it's only between us communicators. So we could put in there also the person to contact if you want to try to get in touch. That way you don't have to try to go through me to get to them. And, you know, you can just help each other. All righty. Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
Christina?
Oh, Ken and then Bob, go ahead.
Bob, go ahead if you want.
Okay, I was just going to say that if folks have not considered or heard about Marketplace 29 AD, we are planning on doing that this year at the Bowie Church. I've done it in years past, and it's really simple. It's not expensive. You don't have to buy a lot of props. You know, a lot of the things that you use come out of people's camping gear to set up tents and things like that for the various tribes. And then it really lends itself to inviting other faith communities in the community to participate. So it can be a really community-wide event. I just would encourage people to take a look at Marketplace 29 AD.
Was that AD as in like A for American, D disabilities?
D for David. Yep.
David, okay.
Anno Domini.
Right. Yeah, that old the old words, Anno Domini.
Thank you.
Here in Prescott, we are going to be doing May the 30th to June the 3rd, a children's summer music theater camp. And it's going to be culminating with the Saturday performance at the church of the kids doing It's Cool in the Furnace. And we have a little flyer there that we've put together. Of course, it's probably looking backwards on you right now because my camera is backwards. But this was actually the little flyer that was in the Sunrise in all of our programs this past weekend, advertising it to all of the members of the church.
Excellent. Way to go, Ken. Pre-marketing for the next thing. That's perfect. Did you say it's cool in the oven?
Guess what it has to do with, Daniel, and it's cool in the furnace. It's a play. And it's based on the book of Daniel as found in the Bible. It's going to have the camp children will be receiving lunch, snacks, craft projects, tie-dyed t-shirt, musical instruction, fun and games, plus memories to last a lifetime as they perform before the entire church. This is the first time we've done this, and so we're limiting the number of young people that are going to be doing it. It's for first grade through sixth grade, so it's for the youngest in the group. But we're limiting it to 30 campers this time, and we're hoping to be able to set it up as a permanent ongoing performance, or at least once a year. And the thought is that not only would we perform it here at the church on one of the days, but we'd also do a bonus setup. We're trying to set it up with the Charlotte Hall Museum next door and do an outdoor performance for their guests at the amphitheater, which is where we do the sunrise service. So it would be an added bonus for that Sunday afternoon. But that's the contingency plans if everything works right.
Wow, great idea. Okay, so doing your pre-advertising and connecting with the community. Whew.
Right.
Good job. All right. Anything else anybody want to share? Questions? Okay, then I think that's it. I hope sounds like we had some great Easter weekend stuff, and keep sending me those emails, and